welcome. Thank you for joining us in Citrin Cooperman's COVID-19 Transition Playbook series. My name is Gina Pellicano, and I am a director in the firm's Providence office. I am here today with Paul Salera, the president and CEO of Westbay Community Action, a nonprofit organization based in Warwick, Rhode Island. Paul, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Your organization plays a very important role in the community, and I'm excited to hear more about the things you're doing and how you've pushed through some of the changes that have come as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about the organization and your involvement?
Thank you, Gina, for the nice introduction. My name is Paul Salera. I am President and CEO of Westbay Community Action. Westbay Community Action was founded back in 1966 under President Lyndon B. Johnson's fight against the war on poverty. Our community action agency, as well as all the ones throughout the country, were designed to put social services right within the communities in which we serve. And that's true for Westbay Community Action. We've been around for over 50 years serving the people right now of Kent County. Our primary catchment area is Warwick, West Warwick, East Greenwich, and Coventry. Some of our programming does go statewide, but the vast majority of it is to serve the residents of Kent County. On average, Westbay serves over 21,000 unduplicated clients a year. Those clients are primarily low wage earners or the low income population. Many of our services that we provide to the community include food access, heat utility assistance, child care, case management, adult education, free tax preparation. We run and operate our own farm, which we produce over 20,000 pounds of fresh produce that goes back to the communities we serve. Other programming that we provide is work with DCYF, Department of Human Services, Department of Health with our WIC program. We're located in Warwick, West Warwick, North Kingston, and our child care facility is also located in Warwick. I've been with the agency for just about 17 years. I started as program director and worked my way up to president and CEO. I've been president and CEO of the agency since 2014. And we love everything that we do for our community and those that we serve.
Thank you so much, Paul. How has COVID-19 impacted the organization and the communities that you serve?
Well, we've seen a lot in Rhode Island over the last 17 years that I've been with the agency. We've seen the floods back in 2010, and most recently we've seen the pandemic of COVID-19. It's something that in my own lifetime I never thought we would ever live through. A pandemic that actually shut down the state to the point of staff working from home, not being able to see clients face to face. Many of our programs and services never stopped, however. So for us, we had to manage and figure out a way to actually continue serving the clients that we serve in a different light. That light was remote access to applications, remote access to getting funding to them, having staff work from home. We have about 75 staff currently, all of which have worked remotely at some point throughout the last 3 months. We have pretty much a small staff that come in because we are still providing direct service, whether it's our food access service through our marketplace or even heat and utility assistance. We've done it where online portals where staff and clients can now communicate virtually versus in person. Application processes can be done remotely. We got a lot of waivers from the state and the federal government where we don't have to see the people face to face, which is actually great. So it is a new norm for us, but my staff have stepped up to the charge and we're meeting the client's needs.
Excellent. Can you describe how your programming changed as a result of COVID-19? Now, you mentioned more people are working remotely, so can you go into a little bit more depth about those programs?
Yeah, many of the programs that are working remotely is primarily our case management programs and any of our home visiting programs. On any given day, we have anywhere from 25 to 35 case managers that perform home visits for everything from families to the elderly. For us, that new way for remote case management services is actually over the phone. Many of our clients don't have computer access or even cell phone access. So many of our clients are being contacted through their personal house phones, and we're actually finding a higher success rate. Where in the past our case managers drive to the person's home, knock on the door, no one would be there. Now we're seeing only a 6% no-show, so to speak. So out of every 100 clients, only 6% aren't picking up the phone. So it's actually unique. But we're also putting more effort into giving our case managers the tools they need. They all have laptops. They all have internet access. If they don't have internet access or live in an area of Rhode Island that the internet access isn't that great, we provide them with hotspots as well as cell phones. So for us, it was taking staff that normally come into the office every day, go visit the people face to face, to now doing it virtually. And it's actually proven to be a little bit more successful in my eyes.
Hear that you're having success with these programs, because in a crisis, getting to see silver linings is always nice. Now, you had also mentioned food access. So we understand that Westbay is one of the largest providers of food access in the community. Can you talk a little bit about how that's been going?
Yes, Gina. Westbay Community Action is actually one of the top 4 food pantries in the state based on volume. Currently, we have a food choice marketplace where prior to COVID-19, clients would come in and they would shop just like they would at Stop and Shop, Shores, or any of the local markets. They'd pick food that's nutritionally based, and they'd pick the quantity based on family size. So a family of 4 could come in and leave with 50 pounds of food. We provide enough food for 3 meals a day for 3 days. However, COVID-19 happened. We had to put our thinking caps on and change the way we did that. So now what we're doing is we're doing curbside pickup. That's one piece. So the curbside pickup, people come to our new location at 487 Jefferson Boulevard, pull around back, beep the horn twice. A staff person would come out, ask the person family size and where they live. They would go in and they would do a predetermined food box. The food box would have everything from perishable, non-perishable grains like bread, frozen meats, milk if we have it, juice if we have it, eggs if we have it, and fresh produce. The other piece that has expanded a real lot is we also have a program called the Can of Peas. The Can of Peas is a home delivery program for the elderly and disabled populations that can't get out of their house. So that is actually ramped up to the point where we actually had to hire another staff person to meet the ever-changing demands of our community. Since April 1st to current, we've had over 5,000 individuals come to us for food, which resulted in about just under 2,000 curbside pickups. We've delivered to over 500 households since April 1st, providing nutritious food to them.
Wow, that's incredible. And I know that with the closing of schools and childcare facilities, the need for families to have access to food has just skyrocketed. So that brings me to my next question. Here in Rhode Island, all childcare facilities shut down during the month of March. And you had recently mentioned that Westbay's childcare facility reopened on June 15th. How has that dynamic changed as a result of COVID-19?
First, the closing of the childcare was something that we never thought would happen. And it goes hand in hand with the closing of schools. It's something that was something that we all grew up with, go to school every day, had summer vacation. If you were working, your child or caretaker was able to put that child in childcare. So our facility closed down March 20th, and we didn't have a choice. Our licenses, as well as all the other child care providers in the state, the licenses were suspended. So from March, April through May, we had to lay off our child care staff, which was a little different for us because we take so much pride in caring for our staff, but we had to. We got notification mid-May that we were allowed to open as of June 1st. With that, we had to apply to reopen with the state by providing a reopening plan, as well as for us, it was probably about 20 pages of what we would do, both with the parents dropping off, providing food, sanitizing, how the teacher ratios were going to be, what rooms we were using. The staff, luckily, all came back happy June 8th. There was no one, they were all excited to come back, which I think was great, and it's a testament of them liking what they do. This past Monday, we opened the doors, and it actually went very smoothly. The parents all had the packets ahead of time, so they signed off on everything. They know that there's no parents allowed in the building. Our child care administrator actually provided a virtual tour on Facebook to provide to all the parents to see the building, see how the setup was going to be, see all the sanitizing stations. We also paid a company to come in about a week ago that sanitized the entire building, all the playgrounds. It's the new norm. Where we could have 20 kids in a classroom, we can only now have 10 max with 2 teachers. The food, instead of having more like cafeteria style, the kids are now only allowed to eat in the classrooms. Our pre-K classroom can't intermingle with the preschool classroom, which can't intermingle with the toddler classroom. Same thing with outside play. Outside play, what in the past everyone could be together. Now everyone has to have a certain time limit. Everything has to be washed. Luckily, the kids are great. I think the one good thing is the kids have lived it, whether they were 3 years old or 10 years old in the after school program. They lived it, so they know the importance of social distancing, coughing in your arm, not touching other kids. So it's a new norm for us. But hopefully through the summer, things will get back to normal come September.
That is great. It sounds like you've put a lot of thought and effort into this, and I'm sure the families really appreciate it. So just to switch gears a little bit, from a financial perspective, what opportunities did you pursue to help you navigate these challenging times?
As with any disaster, we would hope that there is some financial opportunities to help us support the community. Some of the financial opportunities that Westbay was fortunate to get in to be approved of, we applied for the PPP loan through Pawtucket Credit Union, which we graciously got. Currently, the guidelines keep on changing. What was once an 8-week, now they extended it. What was 75-25 is now 60-40. And it's important to note that the federal government is there for businesses, because even though we're a nonprofit, we're grant funding, some of our grant funding is based on client eligibility. If clients can't become eligible or are not able to come in, we can't get reimbursed for that. Some of the other stuff that we're fortunate to get is part of the CARES Act. Some of the heating assistance, which is our LIHEAP, low income heating and energy assistance program for utilities, got a bump in funding where it allowed us to stay open longer. Another one of our grants called the Community Service Block Grant, or CSBG, we were able to get additional funding for that. That was specifically COVID-19 related. Some of our other programs through Office of Healthy Aging, we saw increases because the volume increased. We provide noontime meals to senior centers from West Warwick all the way down to Westerly. When this all changed, the in-person meals stopped. So we provide boxed meals that would be either picked up or delivered to the households. We normally did about 1,000 meals a week. During the heat of the pandemic, which I would say the month of April, we were almost up to 2,000 meals per week. So Office of Healthy Aging had to provide us with additional funding to meet that demand.
We all know that employees are an organization's greatest asset. Throughout the crisis, how have you managed your staff and employee morale?
I think you hit the nail right on the head. What makes agencies great, businesses great, is the employees for which that we have working for us. And that's no different in a nonprofit world. For us, we have about 74 full and part-time staff. Since day one, and day one I go back to March 13th, we held an emergency meeting when this all started transpiring with all my directors. And the most important thing was the health and safety of my staff first and foremost. Right then and there, we looked at all the staff that we had that were over 60. Whether they had an underlying condition or not, we sent them all home, and we told them that we'll pay them while they're home. They can do work while they're home. That then transpired into all my other staff. Again, we're in a brand new facility on Jefferson Boulevard. It's 20,000 square feet. We normally have about 60 staff that work out of that facility. The following week, the 60 staff went down to 8. And the 8 were those essential staff, my directors, my 1 or 2 staff are utility assistants, and my marketplace. Everyone else we set up working remotely. And since then, they've still working remotely. Every week, every 2 weeks, I would send out a company-wide update as well as a COVID update, where Westbay stands, how we're reacting, what to expect, and just also telling the staff that they rock, because they're still doing the job. Since the 3 months, we haven't had one complaint from a client not receiving services or accessing services, nor have we had one complaint of someone being shut off, evicted because of lack of response from us. And each time a phase has opened would be another update telling them how we plan on responding to that phase. So currently we're in the middle of phase 2, phase 3. We're meeting the state's guidelines with only allowing 33% of the workforce in a building at a time. So we have a list of staff that are in the building on a particular day. And what we're also doing is the staff that come in Mondays are coming in Wednesdays. We have different staff coming in Tuesdays and Thursdays, and only essential staff are coming in on Fridays. So we're cutting down on the contact that staff are doing. Clients still are not coming in. That's probably not going to happen until probably mid-July or maybe even later than that. We're taking directive from the state. But for us, it's keeping the staff updated, keeping them abreast that Westbay is here for them, and their health and safety are first and foremost. We ordered sneeze screens, I don't even know what to call them now, at our reception area. We put more hand sanitizing up. We bought mask neck gaiters for all the staff, just in case some can't afford a mask. We provided that. But again, I said it earlier, it's the new norm. We might not have all staff in the building come July, but we're taking directive from the state. And as I said multiple times, the health and safety of our staff are the first and most paramount.
Well, it sounds like you're doing all the right things, and other organizations can really look to you as an example. So with that, what are some potential lessons learned in this crisis that you might want to carry forward to the future, or even advice that you may want to give to other nonprofits?
That was a great question. There have been some lessons learned. One of the biggest ones are that we have to see clients face to face to provide them the service. We have to be open to accept income eligibility, payroll information. We don't need that we don't need to do that. We have access where smartphones, my staff are working with clients that have smartphones, where if they take the note section, they can scan a document to us right to that, and it comes through as a PDF. We can do case management over the phone versus in person. The food is the same thing. The community has been tremendously helped with support, whether it's food donations and or monetary. So for us, it's getting more word out. But the biggest thing is that staff, the 20,000 square feet facility we have, if I looked at it now, we probably could get by with half of that because staff can work from home. It's amazing that we were always in a society where we get up every day, take a shower, get in the car, drive to work, do our thing, drive home. When you think about that, your 8-hour workday turns into 10 just with the drive. If you can have someone that works from home and can get as much work done, if not more from home, that should be more beneficial. So that's pretty much what we've learned the most, is that services can still be done without staff in the office.
I completely agree. I think that's a great point. Even in my own experience, I feel like I've gotten back so much time that I didn't even realize I was losing just from driving and going different places. So with that, I want to thank you, Paul, again for your time today. We really, really appreciate it. I really enjoyed hearing about all the things that Westbay is doing and the way that you've been able to pivot and respond to these COVID challenges. Now, before we go, for our listeners who have been listening and they may be feeling inspired to get involved, can you tell us a little bit about where they can find the organization and how people may be able to get involved?
Absolutely. Westbay Community Action, our main location is located at 487 Jefferson Boulevard. Like I said earlier, it was brand new facility. We moved in March 9th, 4 days prior to us actually shutting down and having staff work from home. We have our childcare facility is located in Warwick. Our main offices are located in Warwick as well on Buttonwoods Ave. You can visit our website at www.westbaycap.org. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all under Westbay Community Action. We are always looking for volunteer opportunities. If a person's interested in volunteering, we can volunteer at a marketplace, at our farm, food donations, clothing donations, anything that people are interested in. Just please find us either via the internet on the website or via social media.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gina.